I'm still very interested in international affairs and government and politics, and I'm even campaigning in this upcoming election. However, music's been such an integral part of my life. It's so deeply ingrained in my heart and my soul. Ever since I discovered I could sing when I was about 12 years old, I knew that that's what I'd ultimately end up doing. But I also knew the universe would tell me when the time was right. I was born in Bombay. I've lived here all my life except when I went to university in London, and of course the time I've spent in LA making music. I went to Cathedral School, St. Xavier's College. I'm a proper Mumbaiker. My parents are lawyers, but my dad's a bit of a rocker as well. He had a rock band when he was 17. That's why we grew up with music. I grew up listening to the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Police, Pink Floyd, and those were our main influences. Music was central theme of our upbringing. It was something we couldn't live without. And my mom says even as a tiny little baby, I'd make up my own tunes in my head way before I could speak. So you could say I was singing before I was talking. Transitioning from one profession to another is never easy. But music was always in my life, even when I was a reporter with NDTV or a journalist with Business India, or when I had my own little business. I always did gigs and shows at various venues, even traveled to like Bangalore, Delhi, even Singapore and other places to perform. At some point, I realized that it couldn't just be a side passion. It had to be the main profession in my life. I had to do it professionally. So I shut my business, I quit my jobs. I had gone to Los Angeles to do a few gigs, and over there, fortuitously, I met the right people. They introduced me to a lady called Jennifer O'Neill who used to work for Lady Gaga. She liked my music and saw potential, but she told me if I have to give myself a fair shot at it, I have to move to LA. But that wasn't such a bad thing. So the last 3 years, I've spent half the year in LA and half the year in Mumbai. I went to LA in 2016 when I met my manager, Jennifer O'Neill. Over there, I met a lot of interesting co-writers, producers. I work with some immensely talented people. How would you go from a boy to a man? I'm having feelings I never should have. I get a rush in my veins. In fact, I co-wrote Rebirth with Duddy Brown and Danny Poppet. Great writers and producers. The three of us wrote the song together, and we're working on future projects together as well. As far as releases, in 3 weeks to a month or so, I'll be releasing another one of my songs. It's called Taboo. It's got that Indian influence as well. I've done this with Duddy Brown, and I'm really stoked about this song. I love it. It's super catchy like Rebirth, and it's a super sexy tune as well. One big piece of advice I have is that you should work sincerely with your heart and your soul and not be too attached to the rewards. I know that's easier said than done, but I firmly believe that. Don't be too attached to the reward or the fruits of your action. And I think that's something that's held me in good stead. Do what you're meant to do. Do it with your heart and soul. And what's meant to happen will happen if you do it sincerely. Also, I feel like young girls who are working hard and planning to leave their day jobs to do something artistic, they should have a realistic view of their talent and their environment. And once you have that, it's a lot easier to achieve your goal. I also think that talent is about 25 to 30% of the equation. I believe that hard work is really important. The right team is very, very important. Networking and constantly at it, meeting people. That's the advice I have. As for the music environment right now for women, I think it's really embracing women. I mean, look at the big artists in the US. I mean, look at the likes of Cardi B and Billie Eilish and so many other women who are making it huge right now. They're owning what they are, they're being themselves. I was shaken in the aftermath of your midlife crisis, bitter and alone, broken to the bone. My name, my heart, my reputation, everything you stole, pieces of my soul. As I was free falling down to the nightmare, epiphany came like solid ground, a voice so familiar. You only know up from the long way down, and this is not a curse, this is a purge, and this is not death, this is rebirth, rebirth, rebirth. Rebirth, rebirth, rebirth. One with the universe. I wanna be one with the universe. I wanna give love like it never hurt. Rebirth, rebirth.